Because I want to join all this broadcast. The car metro man can share button. I want to join all this broadcast. The car metro man can share button. Happy weekend, my people. Obinna Raymond, good morning. Happy weekend, my people. It's another weekend. And a happy new month. Happy weekend and a happy new month. Happy weekend and a happy new month. If you are joining me, please try to share this live broadcast. Abone join why Kawao Funa ni share this broadcast. Happy weekend, my people. Biko abone join why Kawao Funa share this broadcast. With some questions people raised from my previous broadcast in Melu. So I picked those questions and actually I toss questions. If truly that now people are asking questions to get answers and not asking questions just to be mischievous, then if truly that those people are asking these questions to get a reply, then I am here to give them an answer to those questions. On a button at this program, Matoma can share button, share on this video. There's this empire, Nukuwanyi, Nukuwanyi, 2024 on the road. Abalanwanyi ke wadu easy. Odu easy. Onye si na ime wedding dị izi nyaje eme nkupụta nwa ka ifu ka o si wee kwado. Avum ebe Ogongwu dibia na-ekwu na mukwu no 2020, in case if you don't know, not 2024, and so what? When si na Ogongwu dibia egotabo Belgium motor ya anya. No ifu ebe a na-ekwu okwu 2024 motor, ọ na-ekwu okwu ama ife nya na ekwu. Okay. Because I want to bata ikawa metwaka na share button. Only some questions people raised from the that broadcast made the other day. E what I go say that questions, or rather I will go after them. I will go through those questions one after the other. E what I will go through the questions one after the other. But I think that the best thing to do is to read those questions out. Go see those questions. Then, if you like, you can put them down so that when I answer each and every one of them, then you can, if you like, you can jot down. If you don't like, then you can pick a point. If you don't want also, you can also record them in your, whether you agree with me or not. But if you don't agree with me, feel free to drop your own official on the comment section. You gotta go, or you can come in, or you can request to come in. Number one, somebody there in a comment section where say China. That was when I was telling you here the light of the nation about Ide Yuzu English language when I address people, which means that the first thing Melie original as an Igbo man, no to go away. I asked him that question because now each time na broadcast that boy may use this and they use this expression. The white programmed Africa in such a way. The white programmed Africa in such a way. The white did this in such a way. The white man, the white man, the white man, the white man. So I said that because in as much as na every day na broadcast, and on a try, gonna show a way, or you see when I drag the white man down. On a show so or you see when I say Ndosha Melainka, without knowing that na the very language on AG, when I communicate it to people, go way wider audience. Now that language is Queen's English, meaning that not the language of the white man. Meaning that where you are propagating the practice of going back to our root, you have lost your originality, which is one. Language is the first original as an Igbo man. If you don't speak, nobody will know that you are an Igbo man. In fact, if you come to a gathering where there is Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba, and you keep interacting with English language, believe me, half or more than half of the people there may not even know that you are an Igbo man. That is the truth. But the moment you come to that gathering, Igbo, everybody known at that gathering automatically, Amalugo, no, an Igbo man, which means that your first form of originality is your language before everything. Now you have thrown it away. You are using the language universally. Now everybody, understand there. Meaning that you have come to agree with us that we live in a global village now, and no more your village in Oruku, and no more your community in Eboma. That is what you have clearly shown to us. Now, when I say so, some people came in, Kahabido, he defend the unnecessary thing, which I don't understand. So, they raised a question based on that language thing. How was it? China, India, Pakistan, and other countries, they don't speak English. Now, all these countries have mentioned, and so many other countries, people who know they mentioned in the comment section, Germany, and that they don't speak English. No, something do so special about speaking English or about English language. Why is it that these countries have mentioned here? Na father so English. Now, I will answer this question. But the number two question here is, he has said, in terms of Eben Neku, that now our forefathers did not invent, but rather now improvisely what they saw then from nature, from earth, invent their things just like the way Ebe Jiwena Ataji, Eu na Ataji, Ululu tuonu ne binonu, no na akpa akunenu. Without anybody telling them that this is what you should do. It wasn't anybody that told them that no, kuwa akunenu biri kande mmadụ gara ijide ewu na ataji na anọ na agbụgbọ, ezi ofia na anọ n'ime ofia, ezi uno na anọ n'ime uno. Obolo any human being gwara ha meye. But this is the art of nature. This is the art of nature. I made those reference when I was trying to teach our people that na our forefathers structure and by structuring no invention that it shows how intelligent they are. So explaining to them now that all those things are art of nature, and for the mud houses and all those things ha improvise then. That naha melie because naha with something direct from nature, we make something hanidri at that moment. Not that they believe that it is the best. Because while they were doing that, they were busy also admiring the white man's food. They were busy admiring the white man's food. I also made a reference with somebody do poor. Even in today's world, I know today, only people do poor. They cannot afford to sleep on a bed. They cannot afford to stay in a comfortable house the way is well. They cannot even afford to eat a good food the way is Eli. they will improvise something. That is not bad, but they have to sleep on that carton because that is what they have available to them at the moment. So based on that, somebody will draw me this question, which is also confirming what I said anyway, but I will still talk more on it. I just want to outline the questions in the Mado Jolo before we go into discussing them. Igbo Channels TV, you are welcome, brother. Now, Onya will draw question where say our forefathers invented all the things they needed during their time without importing anyone from China or any country. Which is not a mean our forefathers lolo everything they needed at that time without importing. Everyone will problem that importing. Ije import from which is the same thing I know inferiority complex. Orgal with the same thing in that language. They keep having problem with everything that concerns a white man. Problem with that importation I name that our forefathers now allow everything needed within their locality without importing. We'll still go to that one. Then with the third question, where I talked about the education, the Westerners which we know that the missionaries started it by establishing mission schools. So after talking about mission schools, our education system, Ndosha improve and everything, somebody went ahead to ask this question. Or say, with all the education we acquired today, what are we able to discover on our own? That is the third questions. There are a lot of them, but I just had to pick out these ones because now these ones are highly connected to the main topics I treat here on Facebook. So, number 4 question, or rather the fourth question, somebody will just say that English language in Neku that now our people they prefer always to speak English because now English will give you that wider audience. What I go? Because now you speaking Igbo, it may not even take you anywhere beyond the 5 states I went as Southeast. Even here in the 5 states I went as Southeast, it may not still be sustainable because now a core Ebony State man can talk in your presence for more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes. A single thing from Ifo. The same thing with Onyen Soka. Onyen Soka will get on Ihu Eba. Kuoku like 10 minutes. You can only be able to pick out 2 or 3 things from Ifo. And yet, these people are our fellow Igbo brothers and sisters. So, I will still come to that. So, we say we are forced to speak English. So, now forced, I are forced. Either so English. Then, somebody, number 5th, in fact, I remembered Onye drew this particular question. Clearly. Guru Ezeagu where draw this question. Where say mo or no question, but he's trying to say that we should separate religion's scam from science and technology stroke civilization. That we should always separate religion from science and technology, which is more like Nafan Nago Michael Okeke Okonkwo. Somebody when I go separate Michael from Okeke, is separate Okeke from Okonkwo. So when we come to answer this question, we will know how it is possible for you to separate Christianity as a religion, because then with so many religions, but we are talking about our region. Our region with Christianity, not Islam or any other one. So we will come to number 5 so that we will know how we can really separate Christianity from science and technology stroke civilization. Now, number 6. Onya wese na business of religion is a mind business, while business of science and technology is a reality business. Business of religion is a mind business, while business of science and technology is a reality business. So we will come to this number 6. All these things we've had picked out from my previous broadcasting mail. Then, finally, somebody will say, number 7, somebody will draw this question, will say, do science believe in religion or God? Whether not scientists or, but what he is basically trying to ask is, science and the religion or God, do they have anything? Or let me go by what he asked. Do science, meaning scientists, because he went ahead to talk about medical doctors and other people, meaning experts. The knowledge of science, does it believe in Christianity or any religion at all? Okay, now I believe that now all these questions now registered here so that we can go after them, one after the other. Oblo na Ishi about this broadcast. Ma like ki meto aka na share button go. Go share this broadcast. Then, just like I always say in our program, Oblo ne sholo ka programmer can sustain this program. Ka igari de when interruption along the way. Na meto aka na like button and the love button. Na click here once in a while and I tap on these 2 buttons. It will help to distribute our program. It will also help to sustain our program. So, click remark once in a while, my like button. So let's go to number 1. Number 1, the person said, China, India, and Pakistan, that they don't speak English. So what is so special with that language, English? Now, let me start answering this question by stating once again that our people should understand that we live in a global village. There was a time during the time of our forefathers where Oruku as a town can sustain themselves 100% from what comes out of Oruku. Oruku, yeah, onye kashinedu. Okay, my brother, I'm an Eduma. Oruku can live and sustain themselves out of what happened in Oruku. In fact, there is even a possibility that an Oruku man can live that about 70% or 80% of Ndo Oruku or Newi can live their entire life and die in Newi without even crossing over to Nobi, because now any business from Nobi. There was a time where the art of migration came into existence, where people started migrating now to go to other places to go and discover or to go and explore. There was a time migration that was a time whereby, let me give you an example now. Edian and Newi as a commercial town. There was a time a single non-indigenous of Newi Mwelana and Newia. There was a time any non-indigenous of Newi that owns a land here in Newi. But when migration came into existence, when people started migrating from one place to another, people from Ebonyi State, Enugu State, Abia State, or where even Yorubas started migrating to Newi. Now, at a point, they have need now to acquire a land and build a house of their own. They started buying land from Newi. But because now people understand that art of migration, that Newi also na gakwa na Lagos and so many other towns, halukwe na people na welcome kwa nyekwa a land ebe ha ya aluno. Newi people also started selling their land to non-indigens. Those non-indigens may different language now. Language is now different from that one. What I go? Nigeria is a complex society. I want you to know that. All very different from some of these African countries or these Western countries. Nigeria is a complex society. What I go? Meaning that Nigeria will more than, if I'm not mistaken, Nigeria alone has more than 300 to 400 languages. You cannot understand even one. You cannot understand like 350 out of this 400 and something. No 600. Nigeria is a complex society. So when the art of migration started, that is where the need for English language came in. That is why I keep telling people that in this present day society, we live in a global village. It is not all about now what you have. It is all about what is sustainable, whether it is what you have or not. For once it is sustainable, it is marked good. I want people to understand. Now, talking about China, India, and Pakistan, speaking English, I want to give you an assignment. A friend in China. How much does it cost to pay somebody to become an English teacher in China? Among all subjects and accusing in China, subject in Sarayeka Wedu higher than others. That person will tell you that it is English language. I am not telling you that somebody told me. I am telling you what a Chinese woman told me. A Chinese woman told me that I should come to China and teach English, that they will pay me thousands of dollars, that they will pay me even up to 6, 7, 8. Some schools, depending on how high that school will do, that they can even pay me up to $12,000 a month just to come and teach English. So, China, China with all the technology, knowledge, is all about Mbende Juwetatola. Yes, it's all about Mbende Juwetatola. We realize here. Now, English is very necessary. That is why some of the phones have a translator. Why are they putting translator to some of the phones? Go to WeChat. Go to go to WeChat. For instance, go to WeChat. Here have translator there. If not that translator, how are they able? How will they be able to interact with other countries, knowing fully well that 80% of goods produced in China is being exported to other countries? In fact, Chinese economy today depends on the rest and the other part of the world. Are you not aware? I will still link it to that globalization of wine on it. You gotta go. You cannot separate China from the other part of the country. Stop behaving as if na China. Without other part of the countries, Africa, Europe, Asia, and China, the Asia continent called, you see, you cannot separate them together, because economy of China today also depends on Nigeria, because Nigerians import more goods from China than every other African country here. Let me talk about Africa. You want to go? So Chinese people, I realize that without English language, there is really nothing much they can do. They now introduce English language in their curriculum, school curriculum, and they have started teaching English language. The only problem is that they don't have enough people on the ground. They don't have enough teachers on the ground who can accuse that English language. China. Your friend, your brother, no na China, do versatile na China ofuma. Joye distin unkulu. Joye go neka nde China na akwụ mmadụ just to be teaching English language in their school. You will come and thank me. Jena India. Of course, more than 50% population of Indians now speak English. Yes, because egokwa ndị kpaghalele na ndị pụrụ apụ ọfụma. Talk about Indians. Jee na Dubai. Ọnụ onwe nọ na Dubai today. Nya confirm ọrụ m ife a na-ekwu. Gaa na Diera. Almost 80% or 85% of shops in Elafia na Diera are dominated by Indians and Lebanese. Yes. Almost 80% of shops in Elafia na Diera na Dubai dominated by Indians and Lebanese. They speak English 100%. They speak English 100%. Go to Pakistan. Yes, sorry. And we're more Pakistans in Dubai than even people for Lebanon. Sorry. On the Pakistan, in the Paki, and in the Indians dominate the street of the area. Aside in Dubai, you can hardly even see a Dubai indigene. If you want to see all nature the cities indigenous of Dubai, Jena, ebe ya for hamo, wona mbona Kerivana Wilfred, Shetaram this their capital. Shetaram this their capital. Shetaram this their capital. Eba ke ya for more Dubai indigenes. But when you come to the era, if you have for thank you very much. Nda Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indians, on they are for there, and they speak English. The world have now realized that yes, Britain colonized so many countries who made that English or do more like a universal language. Yeah, thank you, Abu Dhabi. Oh, no, Abu Dhabi, a former of Dubai indigenes or Batana airport, a Fuhana airport, a Bahana Lolo. In fact, you will look in Diera 2 weeks now, you can't even see up to 10 Dubai indigenes. Ask somebody. You see? That is how global the world has become now. So English language, the world, other part of the countries now are seeing the need for this English language. That is why Hajiwe Bido now introduce it into their school curriculum. Now they want teachers. Just somebody in China, he will tell you this thing now. Wow. Angela Merkel, Nemobia, United Nations Assembly called Gonoden. Onasu English, Onasu Dutch. Somebody ana interpret in English. If English is the next language I had interpret in it. Obro ne bata plane. Obro ne kucho oku na English. Then ekuoye na hey, can I have this language again? Hey, oh that language is doing more. That language would the second most universal language. Somebody shetarum. You ought to go. Somebody shetarum. So you see, the issue of English language cannot be overemphasized. There is no way too much about it. It cannot be overemphasized because English is more like the language noun. Yes, Arabic. You gotta go. English is more like the language unified in the world now. That is the only reason why Spanish. You gotta go. That is the reason I associating with the rest of the world. Even na Ghana, you cannot speak Ghana local language. Are you going to start learning every language now? People like us don't have time to learn local language. People like me. Yes. And I'm Lagos of my, but up to today, and when me kiss Yoruba, even 1 minute. You gotta go. I'm Lagos State. Make my business na Lagos State. Interact with anybody in Lagos State. Because na that English as a language do possible. Na name do possible. Now, talking about Ndi China amahasu English. Onwelu Ndi Yoruba amahasu English. Are you not aware? Onwelu Ndi Hausa amahasu English. Onwelu Ndi Igbo amahasu English. Some people enwe opportunity to learn. Some people are exposed in a place where they will see the need to learn. Ije na China, some majority of Ndi China and they spend the most of their times in a factory. Ebe ha na-eme production. Yes. ha na-spend most of their time na factory ebe ha na-eme production. But even the Chinese na-enwe one-on-one interaction with foreigners, some of them a na-try ka a na-akụziri ha English language ka ha wee nwee ike bịa all over the world. Bịa na Nigeria, bịa na Zambia, bịa na Mozambique, bịa na Angola. Ndị China na travel all over. Ndị China bi now all over. How are they able to be communicating? Yes, how are they able to be communicating without English language? Ha baby Chinese language. So let us forget about number one, because number one, ajuju onye ajolo, it doesn't make sense. Because he was also busy typing with English. Why no onye Igbo ko? O man owulu no delu nya na Igbo sem. Mana na nde do otu a na nde do otu a na nde do otu a ada asu Igbo. Kedu ife kpatalo English language ji wee wụrụ anyị ọka ibe? Kedu ife kpatara anyị ji wee fu na English language work ibe? I will still understand if ọ na-ede. Kedu ife o ji wee fu the need to type in English? Is he not aware that with those letters on your keyboard, you can successfully configure an Igbo? In fact, he put together a nice Igbo Izugbe mother yagota. Yagota go. So let us forget about number one. Let us go to number two. On Ishi about this broadcast. Kaba fun Ishi aliye. Na metro maka na agwa monu once in a while na ataplo maka na thank you. Na ataplo maka na like and that love button. Na ataplo nyaka once in a while na ataplo nyaka. Then let us go to this number two now. Onya we say our forefathers invented all the things they needed during their time without importing any. Thank you very much. This number two. I told you that there was a time na Igbo when our people would be a village setting life. Those days were the days where people are trading by barter. Barter exchange came well then. Ana makoji, nchede, mbianafia, nye uji, inye mede. Enwelu mbidi, ncho olo okwu, nye ubidi, inye mo olo okwu. Achọrọ m ife do otu a, nye gị ife do otu a, inye m ife do otu a. Those were even the days akpoje ụfọdụ ndị mmadụ kpoje ụfọdụ ụmụ ha kpọyi ndị ha filuru na ha nwere ife sọọsọ ka e wee buru ji ma ọ bụrụ edebi ha. Ndị ahụ enyezielu ha aka na-alụ ọrụ mgbe ha lụtalụ ọrụ dị equivalent to ife a ha ejekwa kpọrọ nwa ha. It happened. Now the world bido na-develop. Our people who need to embrace development. Let me give you an instance. Those days, look around your neighborhood. Let me use Nnewi by here as an example. Those days, as early as 1990 something, a lot of people be na compound ha can well an eba na akoji, one eba na akapu, one eba na akoide. I want to ask you a question. Fast forward to 2025. Anani na onenime ha kado empty. Ụfọdụ n'ime ha alụghị residential houses because na number one, people keep multiplying. Those people who have migrated, who has traveled, they came back with some innovations. They put it down as a structure. And now look for 4-story building, 5-story building. For example, na this our compound na ubedike. Yafu a single n'ime compound nkaya. Yafu a single empty land. Na my whole of ụmụnna yafu 2 or 3 empty lands. Now, or 2 or 3 empty lands ka ụmụnna anyị niile ya akọnwu nni nwere ike sustain the whole ụmụnna. Hence the need to depend now on other people who will that land in abundance that can ekonni nwere ike izuru ha zukwalu other part of the countries. That is why na today na ndị Igbo now depend solely on GC Ugwu Hausa were abịa because he knows that na ebe ya konke ye zuru your immediate family. So those days ndị nna nna anyị ha nwere land in mass. They can dig up clay. They can dig up aja red. worie we kpuo unu ha biri. They can go to Mbubo buta ashala worie kpaa bed gbuo anụ were akpụkpọ anụ tụọ anụ akpụkpọ werie saa n'elu ye dinere ana. Now wolukwa akpụkpọ anụ ahụ worie wee lụọ akwa. Now ọ wụrụ na ndị nna nna anyị ha ka na-egbu anụ ahụ were na-alụ akpụkpọ, o nwere anị ma aka ya fụ n'ala Igbo today. Ọ bụrụ na ha ka na-egbu ashala na-egbu osisi were na-alụ ụlọ were na-eme ife niile, o nwere osisi ka ya fọ n'ala Igbo today? Of course, osisi niile dị n'ala Igbo egbusichane only about 30% of it. Because that is why eji wee flag ya up this national tree planting. Ebe ya afụzi osisi ọfụma kịta ahụ na side Bini, because na ha ka nwere too much empty land, and in fact they are planting trees day by day. A na-egbu ha na-plant more, a na-egbu ha na-plant more. So ọwụrụkwa ife ahụ na-agwa n'obodo ọwụna nwere ife eji wee mara ha. Now that is what is obtainable now. Obodo ọwụna kịta nweziri ife ha specialize na other people dependere ife aha na-ebubatara ha ego. Ịghọtago, ha nwa na-ebupụ ife aha nwere ife aha na-ebubatara ha ego. So o nwere ozi ife do sustainable to our forefathers, because then they are making use of what they are getting in their smaller settings. Those are the days in when if you a smaller settings of a village, let's say overview, if you know a small setting of a village, then when this population of people anyway today, people have not really started migrating, so people are still stuck in the knowledge no new knowledge apart from nke ahụ eji wee mụ ha, apart from nke ahụ Chineke kenyere nnụnụ n'ime melu nnụnụ ji wee malụ na ọya eje n'elu osisi je kụwa akwụ dinele ana melu na ewu pụta igosi ewu ifeduka ede ọya eri inye ewu ifeduka akpụ asụrụ asụ ọya eri, mana inye ya akwụkwọ akpụ chara acha orie, inyekwuo ya akpụkpọ akpụ acha ha acha o nwere ike onye eri. Kelee onye nyere ewu the sense organ o ji wee mmalụ na akwụkwọ akpụ chara acha nọ nni ka ọwụ, mana na nke ndụ starch ka nkụ n'ime na orie ya na ọya ekwewe. That is the same knowledge our forefathers say apply then for people na-ekwuzi na ọ bụrụ na ndị ọcha abịa họ na ndị nna nna anyị ha aka develop na from ebe ahụ ha nọ to another thing. Bagaria na our villages today, ọ ka nwere people ka bi n'ụlọ aja till today. They have not been able to transform that ụlọ aja to something apart from ijekwa bute simenti ndị ọcha nyela anyị aka discover aka eji alụ wee tee floor ya. There is nobody nwere monopoly of knowledge. Some people, in fact, some people you have to teach them knowledge. That knowledge also is a natural resources. That knowledge, and ego knowledge ego. Are you not aware? And ego knowledge ego. Some hospitals will born a more badoha. They will bring in an expatriate where you go in thousands of dollars or bata. Then your doctors not on ground will carry out a complicated surgery. That is knowledge can import refer. The imported knowledge. You want to go? So, I've been at this number 2. I will still tell you that the world anolona in a global village. That people, there is no country today that can depend 100% on what they have, including China. Half of natural resources China make production. Hana import here from so many places. As we speak right now, onye ona na-ele human hair, onye ona na-eme business wig. Ya mana na ebe China na-akpa closure, handmade closure. Wona South Korea. Kedu ife ha ji eme na South Korea? Ife ha ji eme na South Korea is because na labor na China do too expensive, but labor na South Korea do lesser expensive. So in other words, China, knowing that na ha share a border with South Korea, now China name habulu closure he buje na South Korea, he use labelers there, we aka, we weave how we vucha he see through the borders, bubata na China, then complete is here before they now export. Have you seen that even China has to depend on South Korean labor for them to successfully bring handmade closure? Because machine-made closure, a lot of people are there like here. Nobody in Azwa feels here. You got that? Closure machine melu. The mother are like here. The mother are like in cage. Yaka we weave for handmade closure. Now the best. Now, Obolo and China maybe in China. Emmanuel are very expensive. That is the reason. But Anna, during the time COVID-19, a lot of countries shut down their borders. The world started suffering. Can you better the world is US not because now they movement of goods and services. Afia na happen na bata. Aye can e put afia na cargo from China. Afia can e sinu ugbo mmiri gba from China bata. But all those countries now, China na use we na eme some things ha na eme. Enwez any movement. People are not working. People na unime and we total lockdown. So China was failing to operate somehow. China was failing to operate because they can no longer use the laborers in South Korea. That is to show you how people are now dependent on each other to survive. That is what can sustain us in this present day and age. You see? So, the knowledge our forefathers in Welu were outdated. Although outdated, they now saw that you can actually make mold block to build a house. But now you add the cement, add the iron milli. Then, what is there a certain kind of sand and a water as a specific area? And no more, and not necessarily digging up Nkedubegu for you to make that house. I am yet to know now some of these places are in erosion today. The continuous act of digging sand. This is the knowledge. I still want to do my findings on this. Because digging up the earth, even currently now, osisi na fiber, the white men have now started shifting from using blocks to build house. They are now going into using wood and fiber to build houses. That is because they have also realized that continuous digging of the earth. Now, in the years to come, no problem. These are the people now from very far. So, this number 2 questions about our forefathers inventing things they needed, I have answered this question to you. Logical thinking and analysis, not so innocent or there. Since each way, apagarianam ganande do critical in thinking. Pick ye up their few questions. I will still be picking more. I can tell you that now since each way to comment if I cannot pick a single question from what you are saying. You only end up talking out of point. I want to hear your own. In fact, I want you to give me your own idea so that next time I am picking questions, I will be able to pick from your own. These questions are from people who even have a thinking and who can reason on their own to say, no, if I did to and if I did to. Can you go to where do? You gotta go. I want to be able to pick a question from you when next I will be coming live here. You gotta go. Now, back to what I am saying. So, if una like this present age I know now, have you also seen that trade by barter exchange cannot be sustainable in this age I know now? What can you even trade for another thing? Okay, kerifi enyo nyocha na China. Owe bigu ngwafia if not money. Kerifi enyo Yoruba because those days now we have started trading with even other parts indigenous of this country. You are trading now with a Port Harcourt man. You are trading now with Onya Hausa. Kelu, that barter exchange you will get that if he Onya Hausa will be Uji. Knowing fully well that we no longer even plant enough yam or cultivate enough yam to capable of feeding even a family of 6. So Kerifi Onya Hausa will be Uji Yeri. Or are you going to tell our brothers to stop building? Should we go back to that old settings whereby I have built a family house? Only on a couple one room. No matter the number how they grow, how can on that one room? The answer is no. Everybody want to live comfortably. Thereby, people keep building. Even if don't know when they just if they because now an obvious was here, and it will continue like that. In the next 20 to 30 years, a lot of Ndenewi, yana Warifte, for a lot of Ndorifte, Yaba Sobro. It will continue to be like this. That is that global village, Yana. Wow, people will keep mixing, people will keep migrating, people will keep borrowing knowledge, people will keep borrowing ideas, people will keep mixing even cultures and some kind of cultures. You do not indoctrinate into your own culture. There is nothing you can do about that. That is why you go on the 21st century. Go and browse and know what that 21st century is all about. Today, yes. Echeta 1990 something. Okay, I 1980. 1990 something. In the early 2000, unde jedolu ebo ogodo. Ewologodo me napkin. Emesha aswokosa. At the end of the day, afo na odozi sustainable. Odozi sustainable. We have to migrate now to using of diapers, which is more easier, though expensive, but every day gonna do more affordable by a common man. When the big men in the use at the end of the day, our people buy into massive importation of that diapers. Competition don't have ya price reduce so to even a common man. Afford half na dollar. Okay, before I move to the next questions, a lot of people move with this idea of this number 2. Can you tell me now from your locality or from your area, what again can you be able? Can you tell me if you don't know now currently? I'm really capable of sustaining the whole people on a Newia. Not minding that most of our people are outside. But let me talk about those people on a Newia. There is nothing. What we are enjoying presently in the present society is in one Newi. Capable of bringing people from all over, may our town, or a commercial town. Our town may pay businesses naga. People are able to do a lot of things, living in their own family house. And I appreciate ye. House rent, appreciate ye. Kita a flat in a Newi, mweba na ku 800,000, mweba na ku 900, mweba na ku 700, 600. No more those days. Mbe anaku 100,000, 120,000. Nelowa 4-story building locha. Nka wonu nka ijiaka that we are able to host so many people living in our town. What I go now, having successfully explained now my own knowledge, nobody has monopoly of knowledge about this number 2, which says that we can no more do without importing. What I go? You can no longer do without importing. Obichuku, we have spring water from stream mostly in Uruago. When last ke badalami, when last ke badalobia kroma. Yebuni 4 gallon aho, and ebuna 1990 something. Yebuni 4 gallon aho, we bada obia kroma keta abago. Can you be able to fetch mirinine unu ye use bonu today from Obiakoloma? I am asking you. Na January abada Obiakoloma. What I mean, the questions na ask that day. Can look I see before gallon what the eba na 1990 something, early 2000. Kelu ka isi emenwe. Na ma ya adokpuni 1 gallon self we gbadu ugwu ahụ now. I cannot do that. But we were doing it then because that is the only option though available to us. Because Natanka Miri Aya Washalo no Miri, the whole family are they used to them. And come to think of it then almost everybody was around. Yes, I am from Obuneze. You gotta go. But now you cannot move past 3 houses without seeing a borehole. Even boreholes are to go too common, no blossom baho. Also, on the Nukumado, then we boreholes beha. Keta, even onye no average can sink a borehole na be. Miliana wana rungu, na wana kishingu, na wana compound. Or heavy chujen kiji samoto, kiye jishurun kiye jisakwa. Keta yena pona bathroom, neswakwa, sucha shakwa, epatani lobia kosaya. There is even washing machine these days. Life made easy. That is what we are talking about. We are moving now from manual way of doing things to mechanized way of doing things. Can you honestly depend on what you have around you to make all these things possible? The answer is no. So let us forget about that one. Yes, I will indigenous car manufacturing company in factory in Unewi here, but almost all the raw materials AGWNA production there, about 80% see from other countries. That is how dependent the world has become now. There is no country without exporting some to other countries. Petrol this crude oil Nigeria to quite great among other nations today because of that crude oil I will buy. If a Zambia today, but other countries now for China, Zambia as well because now we copper. Angola will crude oil. Etwa kusuwedo. Obodo na will Ethiopian will anything. They have to create on their own. This airline business they made today. Wunya Ethiopia juwede bube. And that is because there is no natural resources Ethiopian will. They have to start airline business, which is more like a RPCC business in K. Go. People in remote areas still live in their life according to what are available within them, and they're happy. Not so innocent, or there are more it bunk than I can even imagine. When they comprehend, ability for someone to understand is different. Yeah, ability for someone to understand the very different. TB Joshua Mbonondo and a lot of people. They take their humanitarian service to all these people in remote areas. Every rice, if we buy a lion soka, go we put even 5 kg of rice. Medication, if we buy a camp on a village square, some of them na yodo se bia sink yara ha pipe bomb water. Obodo ni no one kuka wo obodo. A community can be na central market abi eshumiri. Nyaka somebody bia eba bia na brag saying they are happy. They are happy. They are happy for real. Is that what you are telling me? Na ha do happy. Yeah? Na ha do happy. Do what happy eba. Then number 3. Or say with educations, with all the education acquired today, what are we able to discover? Now, my brother, this number 3, the very, very important. Even you were saying that this number 3, the very, very important is because a lot of our colleagues now talk down on the education system, on the Western education, but they can do anything within their power to make sure that Nangwaha got school. That is number 1. Then number 2, Nkahe Agaho school because of Ifahana Agwaye that people should start going for vocational training for this. Some people now brand they have prodigal sons because Nahasa Nahaya got school. Nka will go do na family settings. Moving away from Ifa Nkuru. Those days, we depended solely on the knowledge Ndocha Wotalaye. At a time, Ndocha felt the need to teach us some of those knowledge so that we can be able to do things on our own without depending on them. When they name Ivan and the program, ever, Chocolate put an Igbo about, I'll be another important ever. So, as I was saying, you see, Ndoshafu need ka ha kuziela aye some of those knowledge ha ji wee perform wonders in their land. They brought modern education to us, Western education. They brought it to us to teach us so many knowledge. You that is telling me that with all the education we have acquired, Kerife IJW discover Karisha. I will tell you today. Onwere onye njụrụ ajụjụ na program ahụ mee yesterday or 2 days ago. Wee jụọ ya wee sị ya, ndị niile mego surgery na your family, onye ọcha mere ha surgery ka onye isi ojii mere ha surgery. Ọ sị na onye isi ojii. Kedu how ka onye isi ojii ha si wee do able to open up a human body? Nya at ya artificial knowledge onwelu wee dozie something mebigoro emebi. Ụfọdụ akọtụpụ ụfọdụ amala anụ somewhere wee machie graft to other skin in such a way that no you blend it with the other skin. How were they able? Yeah. 5. You want to go? How were they able? Chinenya Neme, my sister, you are welcome. How are they able to do that? If not because of the knowledge acquired from school. And they make kidney transplant in Nigeria today. Can somebody here see we whoop kidney or no discovery or no if I would not discover that knowledge. And part here in Onya will discover how he can successfully. In fact, mutilation can because the moment that alter the natural system don't know how mutilate again. All go another thing. You got to go. A whoop kidney, one kidney. Those the other one, Onya Hewori, Bishop stand there, or ne whoop 2 of them, plant here in another one, Nima Honya. And you are seriously asking me the impact of Western education? Gone are those days, every complication ne boom ID me by 1990 something. I still remember Eblu one in Uno, Jebe na maternity. Then enwere more of maternities. Because now the mission biaro by what they left them mainly was maternities. Ebe hano in the local settings and villages we now attended to pregnant mothers. That is why Iji know that word maternity home. Yes, that is where in the various communities in the various villages have maternity home. Ebe hano we na enyelu ụmụ nwaanyị dị ime aka enwe complications and ebubata ogwu ebe ha and ebe ha na enyelu ha aka. You got to go. Now, in those 1990s, in Kenjeduru, nwaanyị dị ime di ya achịrị obi n'aka. Mmadụ niile achịrị obi n'aka. Ụbọchị nwata nwaanyị ya eje ịmụ nwa n'ụlọ ọgwụ. Mmadụ na-agbagharị na passage. But fast forward to today. Nwata nwaanyị jebere na lebe ije mụ nwa di ya ejewala afịa. Di ya anọzi na yes Obichukwu even nwa n'ụzọ maternity ka amụrụ m. You see? 1980 something. A lot of us never are in a maternity homes, not in a hospital. You see? But a lot of women today now, Anna Musia na hospitals. You see? Anna Musia na hospitals. That is it. These days, nwata nwaanyị ya nọ na level. Di ya nọ na afia. Di ya kwụsị buje ya ụlọ ọgwụ na abịa. Di ya finalize ife ọ na-eme ọfụma. Burugodu ụzọ n'anụ ụlọ. Jegodu water feeding bottle, water food flask, water a lot of things. Cheta ogodo nwunye, water ife niile wee jebezie n'ụlọ ọgwụ ebe nwunye ya nọ na level. Ikegwo before na-elu ebe ahụ. Ọ na nwata nwaanyị amụọ na nwa. Ịghọtago? Aka na asakwa onye na-asị mụ Kelu with all the educations I acquire today. What are we able to be doing on our own? Okay. Kelife I na-ememu on our own.
wota coke ki je tinye na n'elu freezer do na room.
You got now today nwaanyị dị ime ọ na-awụzi a different story. In fact, now your whole community as a whole awumonye okpu na eze in Uruagu in Nnewi. Let me use Uruagu and okpu na eze. Na okpu na eze niile or Uruagu niile as a whole. O nwere ike ịgụọ pregnant women who jere ịmụ nwa nwụọ na the whole Uruagu in the last 1 year. O nwere ike eruo 6. Igbo Channels TV daalụ. O nwere ike eruo 6. But 1990, tenant houses do opposite by. I remember a lot of women who jere ịmụ nwa due to complication. Today, nwaanyị ji ịmụ nwa enwe ha complication melu na oye pushu akpọ di ozugbo gwesie nya bịa sign akwụkwọ for CS. Eburu nwaanyị ahụ ozugbo ba into the theater. Eme operation ozugbo mụọ nwa. In fact, today, a lot of people na amụ nwa nke izi, mụọ nwa nke bụa, mụọ nwa nke ịtọ, mụọ nwa nke ịnọ using CS. Now, ọ wụrụ na ha nene ahụhụ fụ na no ya continue na-eti that woman na risk. Medical facilities enwe today. Knowledge our people learn go through school. Ikenna Marcel, thank you. I impart go our people a knowledge that they can go through the body of a woman. Malona continuous risk of a woman or a lead one out in one. A go. Now, doctors say we go what a 1 year we biko gonna dig amusukona. Not that na tunime, but na you're continuous getting pregnant. Ya de in na serious risk. Ni nwere ike ya putani na next one. All those things we find a woman why buy those days which na people amaro. And today somebody na jum question about can even with the impact of Western education by for real. Forever bridge in alolo na Nigeria. Then are you aware that non-do alolo here and they use our people as laborers? Are you aware that today na a black man, an Igbo man, a Yoruba man, an Hausa man can single-handedly handle the project of building a private bridge? Mbaka na gwa elu na River Niger. E just to run mame water. No. Ana we concrete n'ime mmiri. Maho ka esi eme. Mana ntocha akuziri gie. Ka esi awe concrete n'ime mmiri. Concrete ebulu aduru na mmiri. Today ndị buy all over. Na aluzi in fact ndị niile na-amachi mmiri na Lagos were alụ ya unu. Ondocha na abịa emela ihe. Ishe no anyhow engineer ka ya akpọ obia machielu. Imogoro ndị gụrụ ya agụ nwe knowledge. Imogoro ndị gụrụ ya agụ nwere knowledge. Imogoro ha na-eme ọdụ possible. Alụchasị unu n'elu mmiri machie mmiri. In fact e create an artificial island from side the Babishia Eco Atlantic. Ọ wụrụ na ọhọ na 21st century anyị nọ na taa ife anyị agwa anyị ewu na-eje na setụrụ mami wọta nọ na Babish o wee shift o mmiri. How were they able to machiela an ocean, guide gido an ocean, shift to an ocean, create an artificial island, Eco Atlantic, ndị mmadụ biri ebe a today na Lagos? How were they able to do that? Imani ife agụrụ agụ, imani onweghị anything do uncommon about ife a mere. It is a knowledge written down. It is a study made by somebody or they down in a textbook. A put way bubatarian the engineering students, the go building tech and don't do civil engineers. Akuzielu here hamote. You can be able to replicate the same thing in another minute. Without the same result when you give without. I can go on and on and on and on and on. The concept of motor mechanic today, before our people, bido, lower, and still, for the BMW, local mechanic, hamorea, mumweke, lugido, one day, tinye na moto ka ebuje na kosharisi do na Lagos or Port Harcourt elu ebe a ka ifu group of engineers ndị bụrụ ha na-enwu ọkụ etinye ozugbo diagonalize moto ozugbo mee nka ife a wife agara agụ mmadụ anọkọtakwu na in any way today undermine ọlụgụ the advantage of Western education. In fact, now most of our people are able to do this today is because they will introduction of internet where you can learn something without even going through the school. The only thing wanna something say I got na textbook. You may not go deeper into it to know how it was until somebody who an expert in that field but you can be able to read the theory part of it and the brain will do so sharp. You can even be able to translate it into action. You see? Thank you, Igbo Channels TV. Somebody undermine the impact of modern education. That is a topic in no zero on arrival. Zero on arrival. Are you not aware that no mechanical engineering na school eba na allow a locomotive engine start here on aswaso? Are you not aware? Are you not aware na due to study and textbooks no man's by will be able to put one element and this element together, join all together, will produce so an action. Are you not aware? Yes, are you not aware? So somebody put out today on our say more way from element here and the na physics textbook all those things na alwolo oga na kuzira anyị maka keriva na akpa hey somebody processor mu element ya afuga for them physics ofuma hey oga na kuzigasira anyị for odi anyị mechara physics and chemistry nwobele mgbe ahụ anyị amanife na na alwolo anyị amanife na na alwolo go na imanife na na alwolo owo na to present day ibute moto ma o imepe radio akuzie egosighị ebe element niile ahụ do egosighị element niile ahụ gwa nke do capable of producing sound gwa nke do capable of transferring current from A to B gwa nke do capable of ịgbanyụ bridge current gwa ife niile we ife agara agụ in case if you don't know. Then for somebody na asem na our people were able to produce local ogunigwe ishefuo no onye with the champion of that ogo is an Oxford trained soldier. Are you forgetting that no onye do in charge of that operation won an Oxford trained soldier and they not successfully try have no pull some experts from different field mande anya do in charge of Amore na Lagos ụfọdụ n'ime ha na-arụ na Amore ma ụfọdụ n'ime ha who engineers ụfọdụ chemical reactions. Yes, chemical reactions say ana go ya go put this one and this one together, look at the reaction or you go say agụrụ ife niile ahụ agụ or somebody made that research, somebody made that study, confirm oye certify ya ebupute and the anagu ị na-eme today you can be able to put this one together or produce only this action. You got to go or somebody makwa force of gravity, how to ime force of gravity onwe ike hold o plane n'elu onwe ike ọkwa kite o ike do kite akwụkwọ woge ụda ahụ ejide kite ahụ n'elu ịma na this akwụkwọ a na-agụ ya akụziri iwu something or element ị nwere ike use o wee sustain that force of gravity n'elu wee jide plane enwe nwe ike na-aga with that force n'elu oya sink below. Ma ife nwere ike ime ụgbọ mmiri ọ nọ n'elu mmiri not mind dị n'ife niile obu oya sink the moment that thing fail n'ụgbọ mmiri ahụ sink ozugbo. Are you aware? You are not aware. Now for onye kwuru maka ogbunigwe na ndị otu ya alụrụ alụ Ikemba pull out some of our experts jee jụọ a lot of ndị army and a lot of ndị nyere aka wee mee na na Biafra nwa anụrụ ga successful. Ụfọdụ n'ime ha group of engineers. Ịghọtago? Some of them who group of engineers ikemba pull out from their different field ebe ha na-arụrụ gọọmenti ọrụ wee shinata ha n'ala Igbo. Ụfọdụ jụrụ na ha ya apụta. Ụfọdụ si obodo oyibo nata for the sake of that ọgụ wee na-akụzizirie ndị be anyị nọ awalukas nọ n'ụlọ ohi apụ ọgasị apụ. Are you not aware? O nwere ike ya do aware of this one. Ịghọtago? Ya do aware of this one. Ịghọtago? Ma this drone efolo ife niile a ezigbota injinia gụrụ keri ịma amụọmụ nwe ndị gụrụ ife on the electrochemical engineering ka ọgụnụdụ onwe ndị do capable of a configure that drone T1 element together this one together when we can control through magnetic field and control that drone no n'enu ọ na-efe. It is not a rocket science. It is not a rocket science. There are people who can manufacture it from beginning to end. Ha nọ na Nigerian universities here. Ha nọ here by here. Jena innocent vehicle manufacturers there. Enwere a lot of engineers who ndị be anyị ndị Igbo. Ha na-arụ ọrụ ebe a. So, this number three about questioning the Western education on Dosha, cancel it. You will pay anything to see your child go to school. Stop asking me that question. Even Ngongwane he had the light of the nation. He will go up on Facebook or na Bambana Dosha. He was celebrating with Mathias the other day because somebody he didn't even doubt that Western education or doubt her there. He still want to go to school by all means. Some of you now all the menial jobs they now just to make sure that you go to school because you know the important and the value of going to school. Oh, today can we natural intelligence now people want to build because books has been written, research has been made, concluded, TDA. So due to jet age and the jet age I know people are able to make a research on their own due to already existing research in the madu megoleme. E what I go borrow knowledge we make something or garo ha. E what I go. Now let us go to number 4. Harry Nwabweze join the family with that question. Number 4. We are forced to speak English. This one, I will not even say much on it. Metomaka like button and the love button. Nata apronyaka afubo nyeba for a long time. Yeah, thank you very much. Nata apronyaka tap wayaka for some time. Yes, Harry Nwabweze. That is the perfect answer in it. What I go? Yeah, thank you very much. I won't share about this broadcast because Kaba Afuni Metomaka na share button. Share this broadcast. Now, we are forced to speak English. I will not say much on this one. I will only ask one question. Because this English I will not communicate in this comment section. You must type in English. I shall make you ndana comment. Because Alex Ogugwa, that you must type in English. Harry Nwabweze, that you must type in English. That is Jocelyn, that you must type in English. Anama Joajujo, Igbo Channels TV, my brother. Though nyem sign, can I control those security immediately? In fact, an average Igbo man feel himself that the best way for him to show that not intelligent is by speaking English. That is why he had the right of the nation Jewish and Ayamaha so you were. Masidibia. A former clearing agent in Lagos. Ayamaha so you were. Yes. Ayamaha so you were. because they have online they here they go see a waka tap water melon no go on if na that boy hit ya na su that boy hit na emekwa onye ona na eme program because ikwu adoro easy mana ihe amazi the speed okwu na esi this guy na onu apụta nke na no ya dey sweat akwa ya ede ihu niile oduka onye akwa mmiri. Even he doesn't even use or he used to do a simple English. On a like ije water, English ya doka impound, compound, propagate, translate, approach, retreat, descend, ascend. English ya kwa de water. Neti ye in place of go and come, drop and throw. Ifedina come. Oh yeah, they use English and they replace this simple one. You can even understand. Understand and comprehend ya. On a water now swear so go we go so no intelligent by speaking English, not by what he's saying. By speaking English, not by what he is saying. So who is forcing you to speak English? Who is forcing you to speak English? That is the question I am asking. Yes, you can type Igbo na your keyboard now. You can type Igbo. Are you not aware that I type in Igbo? Are you not aware that I type in Igbo? Every English word today will Igbo translation here. Come wobia, go wopo, ogaba. I will slap you when I'm mamagola. Sit down, wodonana. Stand up, wokuloto. Wafu from Eba or run away from here. You can write it. You can type it. Who is stopping you from typing it on your keyboard? Nka wole inari edife fondeneti kona suggest real English. If we ebe they come and approach. Ijeri click approach. Can them mad wesen na nwa na ebiko beke. Onwe onye na afọ osogo isu English. Nobody. I na-emecha travel. Deputa na Addis Ababa. If onye Yoruba oyiri agbada ahụ ha na-eyi ọ pụta fụ onye Yoruba ibe ọ daa na n'ozugbo sị eke arọma eke arọsa na Addis Ababa epụta ifu onye Igbo iberu ị na-asụrụ Igbo ọ na ha lụghị obodo oyibo. The first thing ha na-amụ Queen's English. 2 years n'obodo oyibo ọmụghọzi asụ Igbo. 2 years n'obodo oyibo ọmụghọzi asụ Igbo. Efuzie ya na-asụ efu ye uburuzo change intonation ye change tongue ye woli nya ile ya woli etupuo ye n'ime ese na force ya force go hashefu in English is simple a lingua franca. It is a universal language which you can use to communicate to someone who is not from your origin, somebody who is not from the same tribe with you. How can you communicate with that person? You use English language. You don't have any reason addressing. Look at Mazi Dibia. Na go for. Na use English. Ona kuzirin debate about the culture and tradition of our people. Ona use English. What is so English about our culture and tradition? What is so English about our heritage? What is so English about our youth, our root? So, why are you speaking English? Or neither for somebody to come to the family doctor. Or neither for somebody to come Kelafaya, Chukukadibia, the heritage. Or neither for somebody to come Kelafan nke Bariama. Medium will Kalakwe Bariam. Those people wouldn't speak directly to our Igbo brothers. In fact, Natu any drodi kwoku, even Nadu nidriwu, it goes to the way of life of our people. That man will a duplex, will a nice house, will an exotic car, but you cannot see it in that compound. If you have ever unodo in our village settings. It was a sinni a buputa entertain guest here. Kawu in that our ancient ways, our forefathers is a mife. ya fụta ya ka o yi Gucci slippers n'ime ebe a ayet o nwere ihe mba ebe a mere mmechi. Good morning sir. Sir? Ọ nara n'ụtụtụ ụnyaahụ. Ọ ya batakwazi na akwamozu luo. Okay. Ọ ya nọ n'ime be Ogbuefi. Ya n'ime be Ogbuefi ka ọ ya nọ. Ịghọtago? Ije n'ebe nnatu the family doctor ọ bụrụ na o nwere onye Igbo ndị Igbo supposedly celebrate for trying to enlighten our people. Nnatu is not telling you that that village settings ebe ahụ ọ na-anọkwo that he is not encouraging you to go and start living in that kind of houses now, but he's trying to tell you that this is what and how our forefathers lived. This is how they receive visitors. This is how they dress. This is how they behave. He is trying to teach you the way of our forefathers. He is not trying to tell you that some of those ways are sustainable in today's FIN. He's not trying to tell you that. But he's just trying to enlighten you so that you don't forget where you are coming from. Where you are coming from is different from where you are now. It is different from where you are going. That is what Nnatu, the family doctor, is trying to educate you on. He only needed an award. That man needed an award. As far as we are concerned, we know that he's a native doctor. But I don't think no further teaching here will something to do with that native doctor. Sometimes on a kuziriu ntunde mbochi esi we mega sife ebe mmiri si we ba na opi ugbogoro. What our culture is, what our tradition is, those are people name the real business of what, not business of making money, but they are really in the business of teaching our people where we are coming from. Because now si no nyama hebe mmiri si we bido mawe oya ma ebe o si we kwụsị and onwe onye nọ n'ụwa enwe past. Now you cannot move forward without first of all knowing where you are coming from. That is why some of us when they repeat so many mistakes I made in the past, we keep repeating that mistake. That is because we don't want to take notice of where we are coming from, the road we have passed, and where we are right now, before you now decide on where you are heading to. You see? Now, nobody now force Ndi Igbo or any tribe in Nigeria to speak English. The fact remains that English is a language we can never do away with. Abia National Assembly now house na Senate House now. Onye Yoruba neba ha na so iwo objection mba massive objection as onye Igbo mmasi biko na achọ m ikwu okwu cherunu ka m kwuo okwu. Onye Hausa asụkwa nke na Hausa, onye Yoruba asụọ nke na Yoruba, onye Ibibio, onye Efiki, onye nna ịmakwana mụ nwe onye Nnewi nwere ike ibinite na Senate House ahụ kwugide okwu kwuchasị okwu. Apart from enyi nna abalị be ha ịma na abịazie na ala Igbo n'ọnọdụ ka enwego Central Igbo, more like Igbo ndị Anambra with most of Igbo so na-asụ. Ịghọtago? Ịghọtara? But ịba deep n'ime Ebonyi State and Enugu State ilu ebe a nwanne o nwere ndị ama ife na-asụ ejego m Nsụka nọ na Nsụka like 1 month or 2 months. Ịghọtago? I know how it feels those days. Iya akọwakọtara mmadụ ife mmadụ akọwakọtara ife ọdụka ya sị because those days my sister bi ebe a ha bi n'ime family houses. Ụfọdụ ụlụchara lodge n'ime their compound. So grandmother, grandfather, papa na mama nọ n'ụlọ ka na ebe a. Ma dimba mmadụ apụbụ ọrụ oyibo ka na ebe a na-alụrụ ọrụ na-alụ mesin na-agba ọkada ịsụkata Nnewi ike agwụ na ụfọdụ n'ime ha ịsụkworo ihe English ha aghọta. So the concept of introducing English language is what can never be overemphasized. Nobody is forcing us to speak English. The same way here the Light of the Nation for English necessary to teach, to use it to teach people so that he can get audience across Igbo land. That is how important that language is to you and me. Nobody is forcing you to speak English, or nobody forced you rather to be speaking English. We saw the need for it. We embraced it. Other countries are embracing it as we speak now. And that is it. Angela Merkel na travel na United Nations Assembly. On our interpreter. Every one of them, my Chinese president Xi Jinping, on our interpreter. Yes. On our interpreter. So many presidents in General Baho, Jeffie, interpreter na interpreter the president before now is not a foreigner or a Chinese. I won't say much on that because let us go to the 5th question, which is because Kabaho share this broadcast, all the very important. Then Mathias Ezeaku like and the love button, all the very important. They click na like and love button because I'm a funde name just na tap on your screen there. Na tap nyaka once in a while. Thank you very much. Na tap nyaka just warrior izukwike iwe bidokwa wakwa again. You want to go? Then number 5. Onya we say separate religion scam from science and technology stroke civilization. Ndi Igbo, I want you to bring your share and sit down and listen to me. You can never separate Christianity na Igbo. I don't know about Mo Islam bendo ndausa. I don't know about Christianity bende Yoruba. You can never separate religion, which is Christianity na Igbo, from science and technology stroke civilization. The first modern civilization or interaction our people from local areas na Newi, Nibuku, Neberine, Mwelu, Noboda is their first encounter with the missionaries. Their first civilization, modern civilization, their first experience about science and technology, the first English language who from the missionaries or the first hand interaction with our people from the locals. 1. The first aqua hayiri wunde oka nde butelu hoka na sheha that aqua haye. The first television hanenelu, the first radio broadcast hanolo wunde missionaries biala na Igbo a wo ha melu kan de bayi experience ya all those things. Ha mepe schools in order to teach our people how to speak English so they can communicate, in order to enlighten our people on the modern way of doing things, on the modern ways of inventing things, so that they can be able to tell our people now all those practices not really sustainable, that this way is an alternative of doing this one, and this one. So how can you come today? That is why I'm telling you, Gulu, I'm on a maternity home. Apart from our forefathers, Ndamolo Nuno, Shondeji, Habs, Welabia, Namwa. From generation Guru, however, that our man then Naya, Amolo Hana maternity homes. Can they set up those maternity homes? Can they set up those maternity homes then, if not the missionaries? Yes. So how can you come today even to tell you that now that science and technology na a common man by an Igbo experience here is because of the missionaries? I made an example of somebody to Saluis Ojuku. A lot of them na Igbo. CC Ono. A lot of them when they serve mass in Eben Docha, missionaries then nawa kpọrọ ha wee nachiga be ha luo be ha trenu ha wee kpọnatakwa ha wee bata ba ya wee bata with a more modern way of doing transport. In fact, Iri, that was how Iri had the opportunity of bringing Leventis down to this place. How can you come today and tell me that you have to separate two of them when the people who lived with our forefathers in their villages, in their huts, in their areas are the white men, where they taught them, the missionaries that came, where they taught them the modern ways of doing things, the modern ways of planting seeds, the modern ways of fertilizing crops, the modern ways of dressing. Without have some beverages and for the if hangolo coffee, if you for the name test the coffee for the first time or test your beverages here, for the first time. If you experience if we be on a field and I could case as English na blackboard. How can you come today and tell me to separate the religion from science and technology na Igbo and civilization? The modern civilization, our Afromeba na Kusiri, Ndebai, say good morning, say good afternoon, say good evening. If we be Afromeba na Kusiri Ndebai, how to say sorry. No nye me ife, say sorry. You ask for forgiveness, abagalo. Those days, if I name masha judgment, or person die in a masha judgment. During the days of our forefathers, I name instant judgment. They came and helped to neutralize somehow the that veto power of a king, where a king can just give instructions, a woman within a slightest safer. The missionaries inculcated a kind of discipline. Nime our people. Carpenter. It was because of the presence of the missionaries here. That was how the slave traders, people who came for trade, came now and used that advantage to be exploiting our people. Why the missionaries are here spreading the gospel, trying to bring in out our people from ancient days and put them into the future. Those people who were business mind are also here transacting and doing their businesses. So no one if in a umu separate ya separate ya the missionaries from the slave traders. We can talk. Or must separate ya the missionaries from the colonial masters. Then we can establish a topic and talk. But it doesn't move up the first people who go in the buy radio, ne broadcasting. The first people who go in the buy shoe, in the buy wako, kulune ne shoe. The first people who go in the buy hat, ebu ewolo hat that show nye buy oburie. Ufodun den na nna ha ka debelu gift ndosha nyelu ha mgbe ha na ana. Ndo ka ndosha after ha train chalo, ha nyere aka kpolo ufodun ndị buy je n'obodo iwo train cha ha. Or kpọbata ha n'ime ha train cha ha, kusichala ha how to teach our people, raise the religious leaders, raise a lot of people. Then our people continued. These are the very first people who follow civilization, modern civilization, technology and science. All our missionaries can they buy non villages, they buy non Igbo settings here, fully in the first place. Ese mo separate ya ye kele onye nyelu ndị nna nna ya okpokọpi eji anwụ anwụrụ mgba ọkwọ ndị business people sozi ndị ọcha wee bịa sozi ndị missionary wee bịa mgbe ahụ ji ma ụmụ okpokọpi a je na entice ndị bai wee je na-ewetara ha some things ha buru na hana ọkwọrị because of na ndị missionaries ahụ bịalụ ewuru na gift ndị ọcha were a lot of gift and they far we entice our people will be with their trust and confidence in even the channel. That is why a businessman obviously ye do was in the buy do and the buy for an beke kabala. Only a lot of things in the channel use to gas in the buy follow as no chuku hafuzilanya.